people. I'm talking about liquid. Rich enough to have your own jet. Rich enough not to waste time. Well, in my book, you either do it right or you get eliminated. They're analysts. They don't know preferred stock from livestock, all right? The new law of evolution in corporate America seems to be survival of the unfittest.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio, here on a beautiful Monday night, April 23rd, 2012. I am your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Sifakia.
Aloha, STT.
How are you tonight, sir?
I'm awesome. I am super pumped. Been following this one long time. I look forward to hearing about the company.
Should be very interesting.
Yeah, man.
Also, joining me on tonight's program, I have Mr. Kopp.
Hey, STT. Siffy, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Loving life. What could be better? Great day, huh?
Yes. Big day. All right. Before we get started with tonight's show, I want to remind the audience, Stock Traders Talk Radio morning show airs Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also added a new, what do I want to call it? A new thing, I want to call it. That's what I want to call it tonight, a new thing, with Sifakia. You can watch Sifakia live trading options starting at 9:30 a.m. To do that, go to StockTradersTalk.com, and in the menu, click on Live with Sifakia. Very exciting stuff there. Now, tonight, we have another exclusive CEO interview for everybody out there. Doing tonight's interview is Mr. Kopp. Mr. Kopp, take it away, sir.
Thanks, Mike. We're here with Mr. Jeffrey Reed, the CEO of KMA Global Solutions International, Inc., stock ticker KMAG, Kilo Mike Alpha Golf. Mr. Jeffrey Reed has a diverse history and background in the EAS RFID source tagging industry, focusing on delivering innovative solutions to retail to secure, track their merchandise in store. In this interview, I'd like to cover KMAG's most recent corporate filings and look forward to KMAG's plan for their market, including development and expansion of the management team. Welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio, Mr. Reed.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Doing great, sir. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to be with us. You have a lot of loyal shareholders out there and a lot of anticipation on you speaking tonight. So how about if we just get started and tell the audience what your company does?
Sure. Well, thanks very much for having me on, and I'll do my very best to be clear and succinct, and we'll get to the point real quick. KMA Global Solutions International, Inc., we are in the source tagging solutions marketplace, both for the EAS, which is Electronic Article Surveillance, security business, and the RFID business, radio frequency identification. What we do is we produce solutions for the retailers that they can apply to their merchandise. So the example for us in this industry is the marketplace, the retailers lose billions of dollars every year in shrink, which is theft. That theft could come from the employees, that theft could come from shoplifters, the theft could come from the actual suppliers. What we do is we make solutions that the retailers can get applied at source, thus source tagging. In the security side of the business, there's two major technologies. There's something called RF, which is radio frequency, and there's acoustomagnetic. We produce for both of those technologies. Typically, KMA came from the garment side of the business. So we were suppliers of clothing to different retailers in our inception. So what we did was we created solutions that could be sewn into garments. And I'll get back to the founding story of how we got into this business. The other market that we're very, very entrenched in is the RFID market, radio frequency identification. This is the newest and latest technology that the retail marketplace is involving themselves in to save massive amounts of money long term. At this point in time, they're just in the inception of the business. So where KMA has done very, very well is what we call the transition market, where people are going from the EAS security market into an RFID market. So what we have done is made a suite of products that actually apply for both the transition and for each individual marketplace. So that gives you an idea where KMA is and what kind of products we make.
Sure. Now, what is your background experience, and could you elaborate on the history of the company?
Sure. Like many people from our neck of the woods, I have a Bachelor of Commerce degree from University of Windsor. And when I got out of the university education stream, it was in 1982 when there's 19% interest rates, everything else, and the job market was pretty tough. But I was fortunate enough to meet a very kind gentleman who offered me a job in the garment manufacturing business. So my initial career started in the clothing business. And from that, I slowly got out of working for him, started my own sourcing company, traveled Asia for years, spent the best part of 3 years of my life living in Asia, and eventually decided to sort of slow down a little bit and started a manufacturing facility in Canada. And it was during that time that one of my associates who used to work for me at one time had just recently got a job at one of the solution providers, technology suppliers. He came to me and he said, if you could ever come up with a way of putting a security tag into clothing, you would never have to work another day in your life. 24 hours later, I was at the patent office getting a patent application for that solution. So he was correct in some ways. If you could ever do it, we did it, and we produced literally almost 1 billion of these units by this time. But I'm still working, so he wasn't correct all the way.
I can understand that, but that's pretty good timing within 24 hours. That's pretty good. What's the makeup of your board of directors or your team, if you will?
Give you a little background on that. We had a full board of directors at one time. We went public. KMA was a private company that went public in 2006. We went through a transition of expanding quickly right up through to 2008 until I had to step out of the business for some medical reasons, at which time the board of directors all resigned other than myself. And as of this date today, I am the sole director of the company. That will be changing for Q2, which is May 1, at which time we'll be bringing on a full-time CFO and a CEO who both will be on the board.
Oh, excellent. Now, tell us about your business objectives or, your future plans and strategies.
So the strategy for us, sort of the reemergence of KMA is how I like to put it, has been we licensed out our technologies, intellectual properties, to a company out of New York, head office, to their Hong Kong facility. KMA produced something called a sew-in source tag. Sew-in source tag was a soft goods tag, which we produced out of our facility in Hong Kong. We mass-produced them. We could make 1 million pieces a day. And we realized that our major competition, which was the giant Avery Dennison, could be everywhere in the marketplace and was hard to compete with them. So we made a deal where we licensed RPAC International, a large packaging company out of New York, facilities all around the world, who compete with Avery Dennison. So they now manufacture that product on license, so we receive royalties from them, and we work closely with bringing new customers to them, and they have a very good understanding of distribution and being in, we'll say, the global leader retailers marketplace. So from that point, we sort of stopped manufacturing of those products. And what I've been doing for the last 12 months is developing new products, new solutions. Spending most of my time with major customers that I've developed over 15 years of time, and trying to come up with a new product, the next new thing, and expanding our marketplace outside of regular retail. We started to do some business with baggage tags. We have a client, PI Innovations, who came up with a strategic business plan to develop baggage handling tags that use RFID. We're not involved in the development of their program, but we developed a special tag that you can apply to the bags when you check your luggage in, which they can use to track throughout the actual baggage handling system in the airport and eventually right into the airplane. The concept is when you do get to the other end, through your smartphone, you'll be able to track your bag right to your phone. Once again, we only supply the baggage tags. We don't supply the rest of the technology. However, got us out of the main retail business. We also produce high-speed labeling equipment. Our automation partner, Milestone Automation, works closely with us, and we produce labeling equipment and equipment that can actually produce products at a very high speed. So for some of our bigger labeling customers, they actually use our equipment. So lastly, the areas that I've spent most of my time in the last 12 months is developing unique solutions for difficult problems. We have some long-term alliances with major retailers in Canada and the United States, and they have some significant difficulties in the transition and some products that are very hard to tag. So we've developed a couple new solutions, and we've developed some alliances over the last 12 months, which Q4 and 2012 new year for us, Q1, you'll see the results over the next couple of days when we release our annual report, have given KMA a whole new fresh set of legs. We're ready to go back into the high growth level, high sales volume again, and expand our market reach.
And you just said you'll be filing your annual report in the next few days?
Yes. Actually, there's a good chance it will be released tomorrow, but for sure by Wednesday.
Oh, excellent. I'd like to elaborate on something if I can. I noticed in the beginning of your background and those type of things, you talked about being in Asia for quite an extensive period of time, 3 years or so, and a lot of traveling and those things, and then some of the companies you've partnered with. Do you find that your background and what you know of the culture and those type of things are paying huge dividends for you?
Obviously, there's nothing like experience of firsthand. I have spent enormous amount of time on airplanes and dealing with different countries. My first trip to Asia was in 1986, and it was an eye-opener. Anybody from North America who hasn't experienced it, I highly recommend it. It's a complete culture shock. And obviously my experience of being there in different countries and traveling I think I have a harder time finding a country I haven't been to. But the most unique thing is language skills, etc. I was fortunate enough that I was able to pick up some of the language skills and was able to communicate in Chinese eventually. But the Cantonese in specific, not Mandarin. But it is definitely a huge experience that gives you huge advantages when dealing with the suppliers. And when I say suppliers, it's the suppliers to the retailers, which are really KMA's customers. So in communicating with them and also being able to deal with them and knowing how they negotiate, and et cetera, it became a huge advantage. It definitely is an advantage of experience.
Understandable. Now, could you elaborate on the significance of the industry that we're discussing and the specific or targeted audience and, for your technology and products? I mean, I know you've tapped on it a little bit, but when you think about the retail industry, when it comes to clothing and those type of things, you don't really understand how big it is. I mean, how big of a market are we talking about that potentially KMA can dive into?
The market is beyond limitless. When we're looking at billions of units could be potentially tagged. The major retailers in North America, almost every one of them use a security system or a version of RFID, or controlling of shrink, or controlling of their inventory. It would be reasonable for this industry to be in the tens of billions of dollars worth of value. In our particular case, we anticipate our futures to be in the tens of millions of dollars. But in this particular case, you have to look at the major retailers, consider the size of the stores, how many garments go through it. It is staggering to think of how many units can actually be applied. Now, price point comes into place eventually. I mean, retailers don't protect things in the penny market by any means. So if you look at a retailer, a multi-division retailer, they may have an electronics department. Certainly a high shrink or high theft area, they definitely protect that merchandise with many different versions of it. But when it gets down to the garment side of the business, it's amazing. A pair of jeans, some unique stories if you listen to the security field where people come in and they'll try on a pair of jeans. They'll go into the change room and they'll walk out wearing 3 pairs of jeans. Undergarments, bathing suits. It's amazing what people are willing to do. And, under tough economic times that we're all faced with, I mean, it is an advantage to our company and our marketplace, but in tough economic times, obviously theft goes up. So it's more important to the retailers, and it's more important to protect more merchandise.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when it comes to the efficiency and making the company lean, they're going to have to look at those different sources to be able to save that money. And the cost, with spending money on your products, actually save money in the end for them.
Absolutely, and you've hit a very key point. The issue here is the retailers mandate the product. What they do is when they do their bill of materials, etc., for their actual suppliers, right in there it says must be source tagged using X solution. The key is for KMA to be that X solution. And then it's a matter of being able to deliver that solution to the actual manufacturers. So at source, the least expensive way of actually protecting the garment is to have it protected at source.
Now regarding your business plan, what phase or development stage would you describe to the audience as a snapshot of your current operations?
Well, I think at this point in time, the best way of looking at KMA is the reemergence of KMA. We continue through our licensing agreement with RPAC to fulfill the EAS security solution business. We're mature. KMA has been around since 1999, and we certainly have gone through our evolutions of ups and downs in the marketplace. But we're far from a startup. We're definitely transitioning into this new marketplace. I really want to concentrate on the term RFID, radio frequency identification. We've seen advertisements, all of us, on television where the guy goes through a retail store, throws everything into his shopping cart, and then comes to check out, and he goes through a magical gate, and everything that he wishes to purchase, he slides his ATM card through it, and he's done. Well, that's RFID. RFID, each individual product will have a unique EPC code, electronic product code, on it, which will be able to eventually, someday, replace the need for people at checkout. Thus, reduces the amount of theft. Part of theft control is the person at checkout forgets to check out the right piece that's going in that container and out the door. So when it's done through the proper way, eventually this will happen. So RFID is still, we'll call it the better technology. It's the future. You can track the information. There's privacy issues which have been handled through the technology. So when the person walks out the door, they'll know that everything that's in that shopping cart has been purchased and paid for. So as a development to its final stage, RFID is the answer for inventory control, for theft. It's the answer for retail to save money.
Well, now that you're transitioning into the market of radio frequency identification, and I assume there's a huge market segmentation that you have planned for that. I mean, what are your expectations in the short term with it?
Short term, in the RFID market, we're developing products that handle the transition phase. Transition phase, from our point of view, is at a retail store, as people start to identify the savings and the advantages of RFID, they'll still want to continue to protect their merchandise from theft. So every product that we produce, we try and design it such that it will carry an EAS product and an RFID technology in both products. In one product. So the solution would carry both security and RFID. When a store transitions into RFID, they have to be able to absorb the capital cost of all the new technology, all the new readers, et cetera, we feel there's a transition phase, and we're concentrating on making sure that our solutions will handle both. And thus, when we produce something, one of our technologies is something called the dual tag. We've got it patented worldwide, or virtually worldwide in many, many countries. And the dual tag was designed, not sure what year, but it was designed in such a way that it was meant to carry more than one technology, actually 3 technologies, but we didn't like the name 3-tag. So the dual tag actually carries a security technology, either EAS, AM technology, or RF technology, which would carry both technologies for the security business, and or 3 technologies where it has an RF security label, an AM security label, and an RFID label for radio frequency identification. So this is where we really feel the future is for our market. As we develop more and more solutions, we'll always keep our focus on that area.
Sure. Now, your patent isn't just in the United States and Canada?
No, we've actually got, I don't have a list right here in front of me, but I believe we're patented in, actually I have something close by here. I know we're patented, we have a European patent. We also have a patent in Mexico. Somewhere around here, I actually had a note on that, but yeah, it's in multiple locations. It's stated in our Qs and our annual report. It will say something in reference to our intellectual property and
Sure.
where it's actually done. So.
Gotcha. Now, as far as your partnerships that you have, I mean, earlier you mentioned your partner distributor in RPAC International. Let's elaborate on that.
Sure. RPAC, longtime friend, personally, inside of the company and the industry. I've known them for years, and they are in, I believe, close to 30 countries around the world. They deal directly as a packaging company, so they supply everything from cartons to woven labels to hang tags. Everything that you see inside of a store, RPAC comes to packaging, has a method of supplying them. And they're quite a deep infrastructure company, plants in India, China, Bangladesh, you name it, they are wherever their suppliers are. So the relationship for us was they can be where the customers are. To be able to put that infrastructure together was a huge amount of money. And also, you have to have multiple products. Being in the EAS business at the time alone, we were too thin as far as product selection to be in all those countries and be in all those places. So it made sense to us to license the technology, and we supplied them with, sold them 2 production lines, which they carry in one of their Hong Kong facilities, they have many, and that's where they produce the KMA products, and they supply them virtually all around the world to their customer base. The other strategic alliance we have is with an automation company here in Toronto, a company called Milestone Automation, and we work extremely closely with them. In fact, we share facilities with them in Mississauga, for those who know the area. And we work closely with the founder, Chris Mahowski, and he's an excellent engineer who has the patience to work with me. And sit and listen and develop ideas and solutions into automation and spend his time carefully and strategically to make sure that the finished product delivers all the time.
Now, beyond the technology, or really the product itself, what are your longer-term goals? I mean, I normally get stuck asking this question because I always ask somebody, what's their 5-year plan? However, that's a long time. So let's go with 1 year and a little beyond of where you see your company being. I mean, specifically commenting on whatever catalysts or milestone events that you anticipate, say, over the next year or two.
Well, fortunately, I've had the last 6 months to a year to develop the 2012 strategy and 2013. We have developed a couple unique solutions. We've already got traction on them. We feel where we're headed in this transition phase of RFID ES has fully developed. We intend to continue down that road and find our piece of the marketplace in some unique solutions. We have a more recent footwear solution that we think could truly get us back on top, that alone, which we feel will be able to sell to many, many retailers around the world. It is unique. It has been approved by some customers already, and we're in full manufacturing phase at this point in time, which should drive us over the top in sales volume and profit volumes, such that we will be delivering the tens of millions of dollars that we anticipate.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. I'm going to shift gears on you here a little bit and kind of go from a shareholder or potential investor standpoint. So what's your current share structure?
Oh, okay. Well, the company is authorized for 1 billion units. We have an outstanding amount of shares of 609,420,100 shares. Our float is 549,138,206.
Okay. And who is your transfer agent, and are they open for investors to inquire about the share structure of your company?
Yeah. Our transfer agent is American Stock Transfer, and they are not authorized to provide company information to anyone other than myself. But we publish our information in reference to our share structure, and we'll be doing it on a regular basis. We have nothing to hide.
Now, I know you've touched a little bit on some of the your actual revenue streams and some of the potential. Would you like to elaborate on that at all?
Once again, when it comes to, I can only speak to what has already been published. Our Q3 has been published. I don't really want to press on too far on annual reports until the report is published. So basically under Q3, which is published, our balance sheet is such that we have eliminated our debt. Our sales volume are not great by any stretch of the imagination, but Q4 will show much more significant improvements. Once again, as I said, the financial statements are published, and we anticipate over the next 24 to 48 hours to have the annuals filed as well, which should give the shareholders an intense look at exactly what the balance sheet looks like. But it is in great shape. Like I say, it's debt-free.
That was my feeble attempt to try to get some of that annual report stuff out of you. Did you?
I did my best.
I didn't do so well. On behalf of the investors and shareholders listening, I tried. Right. And you have a website, I assume.
Yes, of course. It's actually it's up and running right now, but we're in the midst of doing some background numbers. What we're doing is www.kmaglobalsolutions.com. It's actually being refreshed right now and cleaned up a little bit.
And once that's done, you anticipate that being the best resource for potential investors to learn more about the company?
Yes, I think it's the best area. I mean, listen, I must reiterate, this company is reemerging. We got a lot of work ahead of us. We're not where we want to be yet, But we have developed a lot of new technologies. We've developed a lot of sales opportunities. And as we push forward, we think that, we'll be getting there quickly, and we'll be posting financial information as it's made public. We'll be posting it on our website as well. We'll be putting out information on a regular basis so the investors are certainly up to speed, and we'll do our best. We're anticipating a new management structure with a full-time CFO who will be able to provide the reporting on time every time, not like me doing it, and we'll also have an operations COO who is an experienced man from the industry. So I'll be very happy to updating everybody on that right after Q1 is finished here. We're hoping that they'll come on board. Well, I know they'll be coming on board in May of 2012. So look forward to that, updating that information as well.
Sure. Now, what do you think makes KMAG a good investment for potential investors? I mean, more importantly, if you had a 5-minute elevator speech that would represent the excitement of the future of your company, what would it be?
Well, a 5-minute elevator speech. If any of us have to be on an elevator for 5 minutes, I think we're in an office tall building. So from the ground floor up, basically we're in a unique marketplace. We're in a marketplace which allows for patenting of products, giving us some protection, giving us an ability to deal with some of the most major companies in the world, not just major retailers, but major companies in the world that can provide us with unbelievable, explosive amount of business. However, like I say, we're not in a position to say to the marketplace that we've delivered on it, but we're proving it, and we're going to prove it on a quarter-by-quarter basis. And we're a company that has gone through some transitions. I want to have a complete, transparent company. We're going to work on this together. But this company has a unique ability we think that our competition doesn't have. We can operate at a lower cost, lower overhead, because we're not going to build this company with multiple tiers of executive vice presidents and managers. Everybody who works here is going to provide to the bottom line. And as the CEO and as the only person who has any debt in the company, I will continue to support this company so it will be successful. We're not going to bring on extra equity partners, and we're not going to issue a bunch of shares. We're going to fund this thing from the ground up. And the shareholders who are here today, I appreciate your support.
That's pretty impressive, Mr. Reed. I have an idea, and hopefully I can bounce this off on you. The transparency and the dedication that you had to the shareholders, I'd like to give an opportunity, if you're willing, to take some phone calls. What do you think?
Give it a shot.
All right, Mike, you still with me?
I am still with you, sir.
You have anybody in the phone queue?
Yes, I do. Okay, and I'm going to ask that the callers first state their Investors Hub ID for us so we know who we're talking with, and then they can go and proceed and ask their question. Sound fair enough?
Fair enough. Sounds great.
Okay, well, let's take caller number 1. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, I'm Investors Hub Jim 1234. Thank you for letting me be on the show to ask a question. The question I have for you is, how are you going to be using social media to promote the company? Because Facebook, Twitter, definitely I would think that's a good tool to use to get the word out about the company.
I can answer that we do have a Twitter account, but come May, our COO and CFO will be burdened with exactly what you're discussing. I personally agree with you. We should have a Facebook presence and we should have a Twitter presence, but at this point in time, it's the Twitter account I think hasn't been updated for weeks.
Great, thanks.
Any other questions there, caller?
No, I'm very excited to be a shareholder in your company. I really am. I know you put your own money into this company. I mean, your heart. It seems to me, this is the real deal here. So, like I said, I'm here for the long haul.
Appreciate it very much, Jim.
Thanks. Good luck.
All right. Okay, I had other callers, but they all kind of blanked out on me. And then, as soon as I said we're going to take callers, I had 9 dots ready to go, and they went do right in a row. Maybe the other night we had somebody on, they all nervous about talking on the radio, so maybe that's what happened. I don't know. So basically, that was the one caller I have. I have 39 callers in queue, and only one to ask a question at this time.
That's pretty common there, Mr. Reed. Everyone gets nervous when they talk on radio. Actually, you don't. Do you talk on radio before? Is this like
never?
Because you seem like an absolute natural at this.
Never. The only public speaking I ever do is eulogies at funerals. So I don't think you really want me to speak for you.
No, not at all. Well,
I think
Mr. Reed,
sort of from my side of it, I did get a little bit of information found when we were speaking there. I did find out we have patents in Germany, Spain, France, Italy, Netherlands, and United Kingdom, as well as Mexico, as well as Canada and the United States. So I got a little bit of information I was missing earlier.
Okay, all right, now they're starting to click on again. All right, you ready? Here we go.
Yeah. Next
call.
Hi.
Paul, you're on.
Yes, thank you. I'm calling from Connecticut, and thank you for having me on tonight. Very happy to speak with Mr. Reed. I was wondering about having such a product and actually owning the patent to it. Why did you decide to go public in 2006?
In 2006, we had, we'll say, the focus of trying to expand to be like an Avery Dennison or to be like an RPAC International and be in 20 different countries and be everything to the supply base. We found out the hard way that we really didn't need to be there. We should have used distributors to be there rather than actually try and expand our footprint. So having the patents gave us a leg up, and having high-speed automation to manufacture our product, we definitely had a price point advantage. And our vision then was we could own it all.
I'm just thinking, why not go through private equity or sell it on your own rather than stock?
At the time, we had the choice. We actually ended up meeting with a couple private equity firms before we made the decision. We used a company here out of Toronto, and the gentleman there, he introduced us to a couple private equity people who were willing to put $5 and $10 million into the company. Hindsight, maybe would have been the best thing, but we went public, and we're now here, and we have some great shareholders, and we really want to deliver.
Well, I'm glad that you decided to go that way for us shareholders. Mentioning Avery Dennison, your main competitor, how do you see that as your competition? Are you a leg above them at this point? Obviously, you're smaller.
Yeah, definitely. We're in the same marketplace. However, they're a giant, to say the least. I feel like the fly on the back of the elephant. So we can jump from place to place where they can't. When we develop a new product, it takes them months and maybe even years to come up to that speed. But they certainly have the financial capability and everything else to produce whatever they need, whenever they need. In this market, or the former market, we'll call the EAS market, Avery Dennison was our distributor. They sold our products to the market because they didn't have an EAS product. So I'm not sensing them backing down in the marketplace by any stretch of the imagination. They've invested heavily into the RFID market and are one of the best suppliers in that market. But it's about unique solutions, and that's where we stand the best chance to make lots of money and grow the business. Is we develop unique solutions that other people haven't thought of yet, and that's where we're going to find our strength.
Okay. All right. She just dropped off, so
okay.
I have another caller. We'll try one more, and then we'll see how this is going, okay?
All right.
Caller, you're on the air. Caller?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello? Hi. This is Rookie 602. I just wanted to thank you guys for bringing Jeff on. I got one question for you. You discussed the share structure. Do you plan on a buyback or a reverse split in the future?
We have no plans of a reverse split. We've had some strategic discussions about rolling back the authorized, but nothing has been finalized at this point in time. Hopefully we'll be able to address that shortly after the annual reports come out.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Well, again, this is entirely up to you, Mr. Reed. I still have another one to go if you want to try one more.
Okay. We'll make it our last one for the night. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to make this our last caller for the night. So whoever this lucky, wait 1 second. Nope, this is the person we already spoke to. So let's go to this person here and give them a try. Last call of the night, folks. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm bodacious on the iHub webpage.
Okay.
I just want to get clear on something. You said you weren't going to be taking any equity from any outside funding. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, we have no plans for any outside equity funding.
So you must have enough income coming in, or you're going to fund it yourself? Is that what I'm hearing?
I believe I have the ability to fund whatever we need to in our near plans, and if we have to fund it externally, it would be a debt financing as our plans at this point in time.
Okay, and not issuing any shares?
No, we have no plans to do any dilution whatsoever.
Uh-huh. And the income that the company is generating is enough to sustain it, the way you see it right now?
We feel in the very near future we'll have enough cash flow positive results that we won't need any financing unless we get into some bigger projects where we have demands for cash flow, and I feel that I have the ability to cover those requirements.
Perfect. Okay, that's what I needed to know.
All right.
All right, caller, thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
All right, Mr. Reed, thank you.
Well, thank you, guys, and I just want to make sure everybody understands, we're all excited. I'm very excited about the opportunities. We have a ton of work to do, and I look forward to making some follow-up additional announcements, and hopefully Talk Radio and STT, Stock Traders Talk Radio, and I can get together again in the near future.
Oh, we'd love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Phone call away. That's all we are.
All right.
One phone call.
Well, thank you so much there, Mr. Reed. And, you're more than welcome on this show anytime you want. And I'm sure your shareholders and potential investors would definitely love to hear updates as you go through the business plan and your strategic objectives and how you move forward on creating huge revenues and those type of things in the marketplace. So thank you very much for being with us.
Okay, guys, thanks, and once again, look forward to the opportunity to talk again. Take care.
All right. Take care. That was Mr. Jeffrey Reed, the CEO of KMA Global Solutions International, Inc., stock ticker KMAG. That was his first time on radio.
First time.
That was impressive.
Fantastic stuff. Fantastic. Let me just get this out real quick. If you missed any portion of tonight's interview, you will be able to listen to it in its entirety on Investors Hub under videos and then market commentary, approximately 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will post links to the video on the KMAG board and also on the Stock Traders Talk Radio board. Good job there tonight, Mr. Kopp.
Oh, thanks. I mean, Mr. Reed did the heavy lifting. I mean, he's a pretty articulate gentleman. I mean, how about this? I have the 2012-2013 strategic plans already in place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard that before?
No.
It's the first time I've heard that too.
Not on this show. It's good stuff. Really good.
Amazing. It's hey, when you sit there and you look at the different concepts and certain things about it, I always find it interesting with that there's always a big player, meaning the big company, and the small, when you're talking an industry as big as this, and the smaller player, especially in a niche and has their own solutions, if you will, that's huge amount of money that they can pick up from the smaller pieces of that, because it's huge. It's amazing. Good stuff. I mean, really, really good stuff.
And the mention, one of the callers asked about reverse splits, and he said not near attentions, and good. He really gave it out there. I think put a lot of information out tonight that hopefully the investors were looking for.
Did you? I probably should have asked him beforehand if he wanted to take some questions from the thing. I didn't mean to put him on the spot there, but
yeah.
I mean, he handled that like a champ. Oh, and make no mistake, I tried to get that annual report stuff. I'm really interested in, because you can tell there's some things that I wouldn't say he was tiptoeing around that he couldn't say, but there's definitely some things that he did not want to go into because for disclosure purposes. You could tell that. I mean, plain as day. And I tried.
There's only so much they can say on the radio. We know that ahead of time, so. You try your best to get it out of them. If they slip, oh, great. If not, well, we tried.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Also, I want to mention to the listeners that tonight we were so close to maxing out our switchboard, it was ridiculous. I could barely move the page. We can handle up to 50 callers. Mr. Kopp, did you know that?
As far as the actual callers trying to
actual callers coming in, we can handle up to 50.
Jeez.
Okay. We were at 48 and 49, and I'm watching. I'm like, no. A couple dropped off, and a couple came right back on. It's like a little game. I'm sitting here watching this thing. And I honestly don't know what would happen if the 50th caller came in.
That would have been interesting. Is it like the year 2000 thing?
I don't
Probably
know.
Nothing.
Probably nothing.
And you get 51.
Yeah.
No. Hey, the board and the KMAGers out there. I mean, what a great. It's an impressive board on Investors Hub. I mean, this guy, Mr. Reed, has a group of shareholders that are just phenomenal in all aspects. And they come from both sides. Meaning, and I'm not going to say pumpers and bashers because that's not what they do on this board. They do something very different, which is very unique to Investors Hub. They debate, they talk, they discuss, they take different perspectives, they take views, and they work it all out. And it allows other traders to read the board and understand the different perspectives and the concepts and the stuff that they're doing without this huge pump hoorah and all this huge bashing that you normally see. I mean, very stellar job, and my hat's off to you guys out there that are acting like adults and concentrating on an investment. I mean, it's really impressive what you guys are doing, and I consider you the standard of iHub.
And we also want to thank iHub for giving us the availability of that top spot on every single page on Investors Hub to get the word out about our CEO interviews. So I want to give them a big thank you to Investors Hub for helping us out with that.
Yep.
That's just everywhere on every page. Can't miss it. Good stuff there.
Absolutely. That's all I got for you there, Mr. Michael.
That's all you got?
Well, hey, this is Mr. Reed's night and the shareholders of KMAG, and I'm willing to end it there.
Well, I was going to take any callers that wanted to call in and comment on the interview or
sure.
anything like that. I was going to try that. If people want to push that button to talk to the host, I will add them into the show.
Sure.
I'll wait here for a second or two. Oh, I do want to discuss the STT radio and what we have coming up, if you don't mind. Can we discuss that for a minute or two?
It is your show.
It is. Well, thank you. First of all, I would like to personally thank Mr. Kopp. That's right. This is very rare on the radio that I thank Mr. Kopp. I am going to sit here and be humble and thank Mr. Kopp tonight for making a post on one of the boards tonight asking or begging, pleading with iHub members to follow STT. And that'd be me, STT. Okay. Now I'll be quite honest with you. I'm not flamboyant. I don't post that much. I post mostly about the radio show and what we're doing. But I want to thank him because in 20 minutes he got me 20 new followers. And I want to state to all the people that followed me tonight, I followed every single one of you back. I tried to PM as much as I could, but I was getting ready for the show and I couldn't get everybody. But I did follow everybody back. So thank you very much. My ID is STT. Hint, hint. Thank you. Siffy, I'm going to catch you, brother.
It's the least I could do. I mean, you do all this work behind the scenes to make all this stuff happen, and, you know, me and Siffy get to be the guys out in front.
All right, we got a caller. Let's take a caller.
All right.
Caller, you're on the air.
All right. Guys, well done. This is
Thank
Retire Me Early.
How you doing, Retire Me?
I'm doing well. Guys, stand-up job, very professional. Jeff Reed's the real deal. I heard a lot of things I liked. I don't even know where to begin. The whole interview was just chock full of information. Debt-free company, talk of possibly reducing the authorized billion-dollar industry. KMAG wants a piece of that, tens of millions, unheard of in Pinky Land. The other thing I liked that I heard, just the sneaker product alone is anticipated to bring in millions of dollars of revenue. And that's just one piece of the pie that they have. So very excited, guys. This is a rare gem in Pinky Land.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, I would agree. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? It's nice to actually be a part of something like that. I mean, you know, even from our perspective doing an interview, it's like, you know, you talk about these things for years, and you know, I'm sure there's others out there that we probably just haven't found, but I mean, the transparency and how somebody handles themselves tells you a lot about what they're doing from a company perspective. I mean,
absolutely.
Did it shock you when he said he had a plan? He already had his business plan and strategic objectives for 2013. Have you ever heard anything like that?
Honestly, no. I mean, I'm so used to corrupt CEOs and trying to, you know, fend for a couple ticks up in Pinky Land, but no. I mean, I stumbled upon a legit company with a plan, with no dilution, and actually believe what the CEO is telling you. And to have a plan is just, you know, icing on the cake. Plus, you know, it's a real product. If you do your due diligence on the company to realize how they got to this point and what actually happened to the stock to be at these levels, you know, you'd be stumbling to you know, mortgage your house to buy this stock. I mean, this is a rare occurrence, and I think, you know, to be in at the ground floor and to be in at these levels is unheard of. Q4 financials coming tomorrow, the latest Wednesday. Q1 2012 coming around the corner. I mean, guys, this is ground floor. This is huge.
That's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up. You know, we've been doing this trading for a long, long time, right? How does that normally play out? The interview comes after that. It doesn't come before that. They would have waited till that was done and got the double bang out of the deal. He didn't do that. Did you notice that? I just picked up on that. That's not OTC script book right there.
I'm telling you guys, this stock does not belong in the OTC. You know, you go back and look at the 4 or 5 year chart. This is a once in a blue moon. And I like what you guys said about the board, the KMAG board. And I want to give, you know, hats off to Smitter, man. His due diligence and keeping that board alive and creating that momentum over there. He's a stand-up guy along with everybody else over there. I mean, it's a great board. It's a great stock. It's a great company. It's you know, I'm proud to be a shareholder here. Good things to come. I mean, this is only the beginning. There's just, you know, months down the road, and this is one to hold.
Awesome stuff, man.
All right, Retire Me. Thank you very much,
guys. Kudos, man. Great job again, Cobb. Well done.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. What does he mean by great job again, Cobb? What is that supposed to mean? What about STT? STT did something. I introduced the show. Jeez.
Oh, my.
I'm telling you. Can't win.
Good stuff, man. This is really good. I mean,
you want to take our last caller?
Why not? I mean, we've been doing this radio stuff for a long, long time, and it's nice to have one of those really good nights.
Last caller, you're up. STT Radio. I knew it.
That's because they were going to make fun of you.
We were batting 1,000 and we got knocked out at 1,000. Caller, last
Hello?
Hello, caller.
Am I on the air?
You're on the air.
Oh, is this STT?
Hey, this is STT.
You're my hero.
Thank you so much.
You're the greatest. I wake up and I just want to listen to your voice.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cop, you're all right. You're all right too, Cop.
Yeah, right. That's what I like to hear.
You like that?
I love it. Hate you, man.
Is something seriously wrong? And you guys trade stocks? Is that what you guys do?
You are really fired now, just so you know.
Hey, don't make me take my member mark back.
Hey, Siffy, how about that, man? That was some good stuff.
That was awesome, man. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and you did not disappoint me, and neither did he. Good stuff.
Plus, don't forget, he said he's going to come back on STT Radio.
I mean, I'm excited. I got an adrenaline rush from that, man.
Well, I'm glad something get you going. All right, let's do some talking about the radio show. Don't forget, catch the morning show. Pre-market starts at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Investors Hub under the Hot tab, and an auditorium takes you right to our page. You can also listen to it live at StockTradersTalk.com. Also, a new addition to the show. Watch Civic Kia trade live. That's option trading. He has his platform up and running, and you can see it all as he trades, starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. You can only catch him at StockTradersTalk.com under the menu Live with Siffy. That's good stuff. I watched it this morning. Had a little problem this morning, but I think we got it all worked out for tomorrow.
We got a lot of new things coming.
Yes, a lot more on board in the next couple of weeks. You'll see the changes as we go. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to STT Radio. From all of us here at STT Radio to all of you out there in Stock Traders Talk Radio listening land, we're wishing you the best on all your trades, and may your portfolio always be green. This is Stock Traders Talk Radio, and we are out.
Aloha.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.